On tap, it's the nightcap of the Division I Southwest Regional Semifinals as Gabe Cupps' top-seeded Centerville Elks take on Joe Schoenfeld's Elder Panthers. Will it be Tom's house tonight, or will Andrew Hart be playing string music? One advances to the state Final Four in Dayton, the other goes home. That's next on Chatterbox Live. We gaze upon Viking Village here in Sharonville, and as you look in, we bring you inside. And inside Viking Village at Princeton High School, I'm Geoff Kim, Sean Van Winkle to join me in just a moment. The 3-seed Elder beat the 10-seed LaSalle 4 days ago to claim its district title 59-46. Sean Keller paced the Panthers with 17 points. Meanwhile, the top seed in the Dayton bracket, Centerville, rolled past the Cincinnati 7-seed Mason 61-42. The Elks got a game-high 20 points from Tom House. So as we bring in my tag team partner, Sean Van Winkle, the kid, tonight's matchup locks in on the star power of Centerville's Big Three against the marksmanship of the Panthers. But as we look to your keys to the game, it seems that both coaches are actually locked in on missed shots.
Absolutely, and they both hang their hat on defense inside the three-point line. Tough man-to-man defense. They both have a great deal of respect. Coach Schoenfeld for the Elder Panthers, and obviously Coach Cupps has a great deal of respect for Coach Schoenfeld. So going into the keys of the game, we'll start with the Elder Panthers first. And when I talked to Coach Schoenfeld, I said, Coach, give me 3 keys in order for you guys to have a chance to win the game. He said, we got to defend with 5 and finish. What does that mean? All 5 players for Elder have to play great, engaged possession defense, and finish. What that means, Jeff, is rebound the ball. Rebound the ball, finish it off. Number 2 was transition, offense and defense. Elder does a great job of transition offense with a secondary break, and defensively, they have to stop Centerville because they want to push the pace. And the third thing Coach Schoenfeld said is we need to run our motion. They need to have to work the ball against Centerville's defense, get the ball on the second and third side of the court, making Centerville guard for a long period of time. Easier said than done, but Coach Schoenfeld been doing it for 30-something years. So hopefully the Elder Panthers can pull some of that off.
Coach, before we get to the other side of the keys to the ball game, given the finish, and we'll talk about the first game as well that happened here just a little bit ago, it's amazing that Schoenfeld decided that defense would be a big key factor because we saw a big scoring output of 141 points in the last game.
Yeah, and I think if we would have bet money, like I lost to you on those 11 threes for West, and if we would have bet money, I don't think anybody in this gym would have thought it would have been that high scoring of the game. But this time of year, Jeff, players step up. And in that first game, big players. In this game here, we got some really special guys as well. But talking to Coach Cupps, who I said, Coach, let's talk about your keys to the game for Centerville. And a lot of it's the same. He said sound rebounding. He said we have to be very, very good on the defensive boards. But here's the other thing he said about rebounding that I thought was very interesting. He goes, we need to steal possessions. So if we can offensive rebound and give ourselves extra possessions, that's huge. The other thing Coach Cupps said for Centerville is we have to guard the perimeter. And everybody in this area knows Elder can flat out shoot the ball. So they have to guard the perimeter. And here's the last thing he said. He says, you know what? We need to guard with toughness and play with toughness on both the offensive and defensive end. He goes, their GCL team, Elder is a very, very intense team. He goes, we must match their intensity. And that was from Coach Cupps in his ninth season right now for the Centerville Elks.
Yeah, the Elks, very impressive group there. In fact, they're only getting better. As you know, Cupps' son, Gabe, is a sophomore this year, and their other 2 big factors, Tom House and Rich Rolfe, are just juniors. So as good as they are this year getting to a regional semifinal, they might even be better next year.
They're unreal. And Coach told me, Coach Cupps said, number 12, Tom House, was an Olympic swimmer, Olympic-level swimmer, gave it up to stick the basketball, got an offer from Robert Morris University as a basketball player, only a junior. He's got over 70-something made threes for the year, so look for him to really, really shoot the ball a lot tonight for the Centerville Elks.
I want to get back to rebounding for just a second because it was such a big key for Centerville and for Coach Cupps there. Rebounding battle this year, slightly in favor of Elder. 28.5 rebounds per ball game. They get about 10.5 of those off the offensive glass. Meanwhile, Centerville gets 26 rebounds a game, but they get 11 off the offensive glass. I don't know if that speaks to their high field goal percentage from the floor, because they do shoot 53% from inside the three-point line, and overall they shoot 46.5%. So those second chance opportunities off rebounds, and you would imagine Rich Rolfe is a big part of that.
Big time. He is a great rebounder. He's an inside-out guy. Some people call him like a stretch four because he can shoot them, but he's a great rebounder. And more importantly, a stat that I think is important, just as important, Geoff, is both these teams average about 15 assists a game, which is incredible, and only right around 9 or 10 turnovers. So these teams are very even, very, very even. So look for this game to be maybe just like the one we just seen a little bit ago, overtime game.
Well, and wouldn't it be funny if we saw something that was a little bit more of a defensive struggle here in this one, given the histrionics of what we saw, and keeping in mind of that, if you missed the first game, shame on you, but the good news is you can catch it on demand here on Chatterbox Live, as it was Moeller, the 1 seed, defeating the 2 seed St. X 72-69 in overtime. That was a big old have mercy in that game. Logan Duncombe was massive, partner. A double-double, 19 points and 14 rebounds in that contest.
Oh, yeah.
Meanwhile, Joe Kirby kept him in the ballgame with some big threes. He was 7 of 14 at the three-point line. Overall, he had 26 points to lead everybody in scoring. But it was free throws down the stretch by Evan Mahaffey, hitting 3 of them in the last game's last 5 seconds.
Steal. It's a big steal to seal the game. But tonight we got 2 great defensive teams going into the tournament so far. Both of them have played about 4 games, only given up about 40 points so far in tournament play. Both teams right around that average.
Elder averaging 66 points a ball game. They're outscoring their opposition by 17 a contest. Meanwhile, Centerville is shooting an awesome 72 points a ball game this year. They're outscoring their opposition by 19.5. So if point differential, and I don't know if you pointed to this when you were a coach, partner, but if point differential is a big factor in this one, is it the point scored or is it the larger differential, because both belong to Centerville?
Yeah, differential around 33, I think, in the regular season, right, for Centerville. But I think in a game like this, we're in the regional finals. These teams are going to know each other really well. They got a great deal of respect. I would be shocked if it's a high-scoring game, but, it could be. So we're in for a great game because there's some great individual talent. We talked, obviously, about Cupps for Centerville. And on the other side, we have Harp for number 11 for Elder, who can flat out shoot the ball. And the guy that I want to watch tonight, who I think is going to be the key, is David Larkins.
Yes.
Interior defender, getting some scoring of late. Tough kid going to Appalachian State for football. Very, very, very tough kid for the Elder Panthers.
Well, he can sack the quarterback, that's for sure. But, what we like to see is, even at 6'5", right, and you and I saw, we got to look at him in the district finals and a little bit before that as well. Big, thick kid, broad shoulders. He can take a hit in the lane.
Yeah, he's a football guy, and he's a screener. They run that motion, so Harp and Keller will be coming off, and Keehan. All those guys will be coming off screens for Larkins, who's you need a guy like that in order to make a run. He's a tough interior defender, very tough. As we got the Elder Panther student section right here with us tonight, so that's going to be interesting.
Well, let's get a look at the starting lineups here as we take a look at the Centerville Elks. Gabe Cupps, as you had mentioned, part of the Big Three, along with Tom House and Rich Rolfe. Emmanuel Deng and Trey Johnson fill out the lineup, and that is quite a lineup. In fact, in talking with Pat Godian, we take a look here at young Mr. Cupps, and he is something special.
Yeah, he has a 4.7 assist-to-turnover ratio, which is unbelievable. That young man right there is a ball player. Big games, he steps up.
So we saw a look at their starting lineups as we'll have them. Cupps, by the way, averaging 16 points a ball game, and there you see him here into your screen. 5.2 assists a ball game this year. So he's been special. And we'll see who's next. It looks like Deng. Emmanuel Deng at 6'2", a sophomore. 3 points a ball game.
Great defender, according to Coach Cupps.
In fact, the best on-the-ball defender that they have in their club.
He's unreal.
Big Tom House, you would mention, the former Olympic swimmer, 6'5", a junior. Team best 18 points a contest.
Over 70 made threes on the season.
We imagine that we'll see the other part of the big three there, and Rich Rolfe, 6'7", a junior.
Inside out, great rebounder, and that's who my man Larkins is going to be tangled up with all night.
And then to round out the lineup, Trey Johnson wearing the 22, 6'7", a senior, averaging about 3 points a ball game. Wanted to get back to Rolfe for a second.
Yep.
He's averaging a double-double a ball game, just over 14.5 points a ball game, but a team best 11 boards a contest.
And a GWAC best, 11.2. He led the GWAC in rebounding at 11.2. Double-double guy.
And we look at the hometown favorite, and of course, the Elder sideline. The crowd is on their feet right in front of us, and here are their starters. JT Miller, Sean Keller in the backcourt along with Michael Keehan. Andrew Harp comes up front along with David Larkins.
Yeah, they got really good shooters from the perimeter, good interior guys. Right here we're looking at.
And we're looking at Harp right now.
Yeah, he can read a screen better than anybody in the city of Cincinnati, according to Coach Kramer, Coach Godey from LaSalle, Coach Noska. They said Harp can flat out read a screen, and he is a great shooter.
JT Miller at 6'3", a senior. He's averaging 7 points a ball game. Coming up now is number 1, Sean Keller at 5'10", a junior. He showed up big in the last game, 17 points in the district final.
Absolutely. Great shooter. He's a junior for them.
The aforementioned Andrew Harp wearing the number 11 in your screen, 6'5", a junior. Team best 12.5 points a contest.
42% from 3. And here's the big boy inside, number 31, senior David Larkins. And what a interior presence, GCL toughness guy, as we are in for an unbelievable basketball game.
Larkins averaging 9 points a contest and just over 5 boards a game. And then 35, Michael Keehan at 6'3", a senior, rounds out the lineup, averaging 9.5 points a ball game. Partner, in fact, in looking at this team out of the GCL South, all 5 starters are either on the first or the second team in the conference this year.
And we'll hit on that. They got Harp at first and a couple others at second. We'll make sure we mention that throughout the broadcast as we're getting ready to start.
Johnson and Larkins. Tap is controlled by Elder, and away we go here at Princeton.
Centerville opens up in the man-to-man defense. They'll put a little bit of ball pressure, but look at the great help side.
It's Keller with the ball, who had 17 in the game in the win against LaSalle on Saturday. They look inside. Harp, low on the left, no string music, and we head the other way as Centerville gets their first strike. Maybe we have a tie-up with 7:37 to go here in quarter number 1.
Nice little slip by Harp. Looked like he was going to go away screen and slip to the basket and missed it. But that what you just seen right there, Jeff, we're going to see a lot of that tonight. Guys getting dirty on the ground to get that possession.
On alternating possessions, it is Centerville with Cupps. Dang, and now out to the sideline. House returns it to Dang, and now to Cupps up high on the left. Top of your screen, now moves to the middle of the floor. Looks inside, has to stay outside. And right now, Elder packing it in. Johnson low on the left, and now back outside. 3 on the way! You gotta bake those in and call it!
The bank is open tonight on Wednesday night here in Sharonville. What a good first possession for the Centerville Elks.
The Elks draw first blood. It's 3-0 on the House triple. Ball tapped away, and we head the other way. Just a minute 5 deep into this contest, 3-0.
Rare turnover for Elder.
It's Cupps between the circles.
They run the natural motion here, Jeff, where they got some guys screening and moving and just reading off the screens.
It's House again, high-low, intended for Rolfe, taken away by Harp.
Harp with a great defensive play there for the Panthers.
Keller, now Keehan outside, and they work it around the arc. 3 to tie it up. Sean Keller answers back. He logs on and ties it up at 3. Steal. And to the rack, the putback. Larkins no good. Keehan fouled. Fouled with 6:08 left to go here in the first.
Keller picked up right where he left off the other night with that made 3 that comes up with a big steal for the Elder Panthers. As Keehan steps up, he's an 81% free throw shooter, Jeff. 81% free throw shooter.
First free throw is good. Second team all GCL South this year.
Yeah, like you said, all 5 starters made some kind of mention, either honorable, first or second team. And Coach Schoenfeld was Coach of the Year in the GCL.
Keehan makes them both. It's a 5-0 run here for the Elder Panthers to start off. And it's the first lead change of the ball game as well.
Great defense by the Elder Panthers. Good help side.
Cupps turns the corner, back out to House from the corner, left it short, and here comes Keehan, here comes Elder. Into the lane is Harp. Lost it at the free throw line, and they stay outside. Feed it inside to the big man. Larkins low on the left. Oh, nice spin. Nice patience. He got taken away by Johnson, who plays it up to House right at midcourt. Now over for Dang. Stop and go right of the lane. And they'll reset. Back out to Cupps. A long 3 off the mark. A little too short. The rebound down to Larkins. The winner of this one will play Moeller on Saturday night.
Now they're going to get into their natural motion here.
Larkins to the rack. He missed the shot. Rolf the rebound. You expect that. House, a spot up 3. He left it short. Tapped out, and it belongs to Larkins for Elder.
House has had a couple really good looks at 3, and shooting the percentage he does, it's a little surprising, but he'll get settled in here.
Keller has the ball. They play it up top and keep it up top. Miller now plays to the corner. Harp! No good this time, off the wing. Still 5-3 as both teams opting for the long ball here in the early minutes. Miller, and now thrown away.
Couple subs coming in for Elder. We got Brown, number 24.
And Scott Neiman, 21, 6'7", a senior, also a football guy.
Yes.
He's going to play wide receiver over at Miami University in Oxford, so he's going to stay home. By the way, hell of a receiver. Led the team in receiving with over 800 yards in a shortened season this year for the Panthers.
Glad to see that the Red Hawks are recruiting locally. They don't do it as often as they should, in my opinion.
3 off the catch, off the mark for Keller. So 1 undone in this position as we come up on the halfway point of this first period.
Trey Johnson has 3 or 4 defensive rebounds, and that's good. That's a great start for Coach Cupps.
3 on the way, off the mark. By the way, we neglected to mention Ryan Kiefer in the ballgame, 6'4", a junior for Centerville, wearing the number 10.
Yeah, Elder's pushing the tempo a little bit here, but then they settle into their motion where they try to get 2 or 3 reversals.
Carson Brown on the dribble. Checked by House. Neiman to the rack and 1!
He fouled him in the motion of shooting, and a lot of times the referees won't give him that, but really good replay here by Chatterbox, and look at the drive here. Step through, keeps the balance that he had there. I mean, he was off his balance, but he kept his balance as he steps up to try to get the traditional old school and 1 as he shoots 46% from the foul line.
And he gets the bonus, and it's an 8-0 run for the Elder Panthers. Centerville looking to catch up. It's Gabe Cupps, the coach's son. They play out to the wing. Kiefer. Side pocket left, outside. House straight on! And that breaks the drought.
That was Rolf.
Beg your pardon, Rolf.
Yes. Inside out guy. Great rebounder, but he can also stretch the floor with that 3-point shot.
Shooting 35% from the floor behind the 3-point line, 8-6.
Yeah, great shooting percentages for Rolf. Shoots 48 in 2s and 35 for 3.
Harp got a touch on out to Brown. And now the dribble handoff to the newcomer, Tony Walker. Walker wearing the number 4, the Pepper Park God. Here's Neiman to the rack. He missed the shot. The rebound down to Kiefer. Playing it up front, Rolf.
Missed House had House ahead on the 3 and missed him there.
Jason Hayes into the ball game for Centerville, wearing 23 at the bottom of your screen. It's Cupps between the circles. Rolf on the deck, back out to Cupps. He puts it on the deck, can't turn the corner. Good job by Neiman defensively. Rolf might have gotten away with steps, and they'll reset.
Boy, Elder with great pack line help defense.
Cupps off the catch. He fires three, and before he can get the shot off, we have a foul.
Yeah, 21, physical player, Neiman. He just kind of ran right through the screen instead of tricking the screener and going underneath or over the top. Easy call for the referee there.
Well, you'd expect no less from a football player, right?
Right.
8-6, the long ball in effect for the Elks. In fact, they've only hit on threes from the floor so far this evening. Here's Cupps up high on the left.
Nice
House
middle
straight on. He buries it.
That was
Knock it down.
Great middle flare screen. Nice set play on the out of bounds play. That was a great middle flare. And he went under the screen, Jeff, and you can't do that with great shooters.
Second lead change of the night, 9-8. So after that 8-0 run from Elder, back comes Centerville on a 6-0 run here in the first.
They're trying to keep it on the one side of the court if they can.
It's Walker, dribble drive, deflected, he gets it back and returns it outside. Keehan gets a touch. Now Keller, stuck at the free throw line, out to Harp.
Yeah, Centerville with great half-court defense right now.
Three off the catch, no good for Harp.
And Harp is getting really tough looks. Nothing easy.
Cupps. The Hayes to the rack, charge.
I'm not sure that was his call. It might have been moving a little bit. We'll see. That's a bad call. And the referee called from the wing, which that's a bad call. It should be the guy underneath. He's got a way better view. But you got to appreciate the Elder guys. They'll jump in front of anybody trying to get a charge.
Score remains the same with a minute left to go. Keehan down the lane he goes, missing it, and now getting back, kicking it out. Three on the way!
Best time.
J.T. Miller answers back.
Absolute best time to get a three, Jeff, is when the offensive rebound and kick it out. Great time to get a three.
Third lead change. House tries to answer. He airmails this one out of bounds on the baseline.
Stepped out. Yeah, watch this rebound. He gets the rebound, throws it out. Absolute best time to get a three. Now, he got his own rebound from the miss, but he had the awareness to throw it out for a great three for the Elder Panthers.
You're talking to Pat Godey prior to the ball game. He taught J.T. Miller at a youth level, and he says he's got a little piss in his vinegar.
Oh, yeah, he's a tough kid, man. And you got to love, every one of these kids play with such energy. As you got
Larkins to the hole!
Larkin, who expanded his game a little bit and getting the ball to the rack. He's usually a screener, but Elder does a great job of spreading it out as we got 10 seconds here. Look for a high ball screen and a flare here.
A straight up for Cupps, off the mark, tough, too strong off the back end. The rebound, throw back for Rolf, and that's the way this first period ends. Entertaining to be sure through the first 8. 13-9 here at Princeton. This is the March to Columbus on Chatterbox Live. We're through 8, and it's 13-9. Along with the kid, Sean Van Winkle, I'm Geoff Kim. Thanks for joining us. It's our March to Columbus on Chatterbox Live. Partner, 3 lead changes and a tie so far in this ballgame. It's been close.
It has, and looking at the keys of the game, Elder wanted to play great transition defense, and they have done that. They've made Centerville take second or third pass shots. And on the other side, Centerville wanted to play with toughness. They're playing with toughness. So right now, both these coaches are right in line with some of their keys to the game to get a victory.
Elder will get the throw in to start quarter number 2. It's Larkins playing it back to Harp, the trigger man. Yep. By the way, Dang has the assignment on Harp, who has him now and has the ball. So giving him all he can handle, tries to dribble around him and has to pass it out. Keller on the dribble. Rolf has the assignment on him up on top. They're not finding a whole lot down low right now.
This is their third side reversal here, getting ready to go to the fourth if they get over to the right side, which is the patience that Coach Schoenfeld's looking for.
Keller spots 3 right of the key, off the lip, and they get a rebound from Larkins. Low on the right, he backs in and scores.
That's just a strength rebound. And he's becoming an offensive threat here late in the season for Elder.
David Larkins has 4 in the book, 15-9. This is the biggest lead of the ball game at 6 here for Elder. Cupps on the catch. Rolls behind Dang. To the rack he goes. Missed the shot. Might have been partially blocked. Here comes Elder. Keehan off the left leg to the rack. He missed it.
Yeah, I think Larkin got a piece of that block down there, Geoff.
So it's House back to Rolf and now to Cupps up high on the left. He turns the corner. He pops 15. Too short. He gets it back. He throws it up. No good. And a foul. Oh, a big time foul. And we hope we don't have an injury down at the top of the key. And it looked like Tom House got the worst of it.
Yeah,
He'll come out.
Yeah, you look at Larkins down here, who's a football guy, nice and steady underneath, just an old school back to the basket post player, just slows himself down. And talking to Coach Schoenfeld, he said he's become an offensive threat the late in the year here for the Elder Panthers.
Number 1, Quinn Hafner to the top of your screen, comes in place of Tom House, who hobbled to the sideline, and that's a big concern. Coach, do you change offensive philosophy with House out of the lineup?
Well, they're going to have to keep it spread right now because they went small. Centerville is really small right now. They got to keep it spread, but they got to dribble penetrate because right now they're just passing, and it's like shell drill defense for Elder.
Cupps on the reception up high on the right. Thought about 3, now puts it on the deck. Back outside. 3 off the mark for Hafner, and we head the other way.
Little pushing back there. Pretty easy call to make as he shoots the 3 with the guy in his eye, and then watch the push here. 23 kind of pushes him. They get tangled up. If you extend your arms like that, they're going to call it.
2 minutes deep here into the second quarter. 15-9's your score.
Not sure that was a great shot for Centerville either. Deep contested 3.
Well, what you're seeing right now, because Cupps has tried to turn the corner on the baseline a few times, and his shots have not been dropping. I think this would be a little different if those shots were dropping.
Yeah, that second-level defense that Elder plays makes it really hard on Cupps.
Keehan outside. Neiman the step around. In the lane, the runner. He can't get it to fall, and we've got a foul with 5:36 to play.
Yeah, to your point earlier about Gabe Cupps, I mean, he's a great player, all-state player as a freshman. But he's getting by the first guy, but that second-level defense for the Elder Panthers has been really, really good as we have Neiman stepping up to shoot a free throw, 46% on the year. And like you said, Miami University, wide receiver, I think he played?
Yes.
Yes.
So Neiman hits on the first. Trey Johnson, by the way, picks up the foul. 5:36 to play until halftime, 16-9 as Neiman takes his time. He's the Miami commit, as we just mentioned, and he lets it fall.
I think he's 3 for 3.
Yes. So he's got a field goal and 3 free throws to his name tonight, and it's the biggest lead of the contest now at 8, 17-9.
Yeah, if you're Centerville, you got to get some off-the-ball screening actions here, some weak side flares or something to get Elder's defense.
Cupps looking for something, gets a high screen and has to dribble out.
Yeah, you got to get the defense in a bind.
Off the catch, Cupps for 3, off the lip, and right now Centerville's awfully cold.
Yeah, they're settling for really, really deep threes. It's playing right into the hands of the Panthers as they get an uncharacteristic turnover. But they're shooting a lot of deep threes, Geoff, and that's Coach Cupps. He's not going to be happy about that.
Elder is 20-3 this season. They got a share of the GCL South title for the first time in a while at 4-2 in the conference. Joe Schoenfeld, 3 decades deep into his career at the Elder at the helm.
Yeah, they're running chin offense now is what Coach Cupps called when he points to his chin. You're just cutting off 22 as a screener there, trying to get 4 round 1 and just use that screen, which is good action. But this is the same offense that Moeller runs, LaSalle runs, X runs. So Elder has seen this a lot as, you know, they're guarding it really good right now.
Well, they have really denied a path for Centerville. They can't touch the paint right now.
Yeah, right now they're just building the wall. Second level's good.
Here's your first opportunity.
Yep, there's your second level defender.
Keeper back out to Cupps. Now out to Rolf. From the corner, he misfires. And now we've got a hold, and we head the other way.
Yeah, over the back. again, if you look at the last 3 or 4 possessions, Centerville's settling for deep threes, and Elder is not. They're going to Larkin inside. They're driving. So Centerville's got to dig in deep here on offense, and they have some things they can do.
So that's 2 on Trey Johnson, who started the ball game at center. And, of course, you have Tom House out, who is yet to step back in the ball game. You got a big problem right now if you're Brooke Cupps.
Yeah, they're really small right now.
Harp on the outside, dumping it in, Larkins, and he threw it away. Into the hands of Ryan Kiefer. Here come the Elks. Quinn Hafner up high on the right. Inside, it's Rolfe. Shut off, and now out to Cupps, and they'll reset.
Yeah, that's that transition defense Coach Schoenfeld was talking about. They had to be really good in transition, and that was a prime example.
By the way, House is now back in.
Back in the game, yep.
Here's a drive. Hafner down low. Rolfe throws it up, is rejected by Harp. It might have been Larkins. Harp was there too.
I think Harp got it.
17-9 is your score here at Princeton.
Harp wants it because he's 0.3 blocks a game. Let's give the guy a block.
3 off the wing. Too strong this time for Miller. Hafner running up ahead and now setting it up for Cupps. So we come up on 3 minutes to play till halftime. A long 3 off the back iron. They'll reset it. And now we've got a foul as Larkins was in there on the body of Ryan Kiefer.
Yeah, that's the 3rd team foul, I believe, on Elder Panthers. And again, Jeff, they're really settling for these perimeter shots. And if they go in, it's a great thing. If they don't, I talking to Coach Wyrick before the game, Fairfield, they were 2 of 24 against West. I mean, you live and die by the 3.
Harp comes out, and we see 24 coming on in, Carson Brown. So Elder going a little big here on this defensive set. Hafner down low. Rolfe draws the double, and they kick it back out. Hafner on the dribble, and they retreat. Back out to Rolfe, turning the corner outside. Cupps, baseline right, goes to a flashing player, and now he'll have to send it back out.
They are having a clinic defensively on post defense, Elder. Arms straight up, bodying him out.
Down low. Hayes low on the right.
There
rejected.
That's exactly
out of bounds,
what I was just
and
talking.
last touch by Hayes.
Yeah, a clinic on defense underneath. You see that right there. I mean, it's a great. He moved over. Larkins moved over. Got his hands straight up, and they're putting on a clinic on interior defense right now. It doesn't matter how big you are, Jeff. It's positioning and it's toughness. And right now, Elder is really, really out tough in Centerville.
Oh, it was a foul on the play, by the way, and not just the rejection.
And Coach Cupps is working referees a little bit down there. It's 7 fouls to 3, and sometimes you want to tell the referee that, but they fouled. I mean, we got a good crew here tonight, although the one guy blew a call earlier. But
Larkins hits on the first. 62% shooter at the stripe this year coming on in. Second team all GCL South, averaging 9 points a contest. He eyes, he lets fly on the second one, and good. This one a little bit more traditional. And he's got 6 in the book.
He's the reason they are playing in this game, if you ask a lot of coaches.
Johnson sets the high screen. Centerville sets up the offense. Drive by Cupps, 18-footer. He can't get the shot to fall. Johnson the rebound, low on the left. Draws the double. Nearly overthrew Cupps, and he'll reset. He puts it on the deck. Now he'll trigger 3 again! This time he knocks it down!
Just takes one, just make one. Again, let's talk about Coach Cupps rolling the dice here. He's got Johnson in with 2 fouls. He may do a little offense-defense if they get the opportunity to do that, Centerville. As right now, you're going to see the ball get reversed 2 or 3 times, and Elder's really going to take their time here.
Larkins stuck at the free throw line, back outside. Keller on the catch, and now returns it Miller. Quick touch pass to the near side. Yeah. Brown returns it up high, and Miller puts it on the deck. 1:30 to play here at Princeton, 19-12.
Great spread. You see the coaches down at Elder wanting to pull out and keep the ball spread out. That's about the 5th reversal now for the Elder Panthers.
And you got to give them credit. I mean, they've played that middle really well. Larkins back outside. Corner 3! JT Miller again.
He kind of looked at Cupps like, hey, man, you going to guard me or what?
We stay up front. Back to a double-digit lead.
Watch the look he gives him here. A little kick out. He shoots it. If we keep the camera on, we missed the camera. After he made that, he kind of looked at him like, hey, you going to guard me or what?
Well, again, he's a little salty. I mean, we saw his histrionics in the Hamilton game where he closed out the third with a three and stared down a Hamilton player, Jackson Lewis, if I recall, in that game.
Got a lot of fire.
Cupps out to the corner, turns the corner, now draws a double team low on the left.
That's that second level D. This is a clinic. The Elder Panthers are putting on a clinic in half-court defense right now.
We stay up front.
Centerville has 12 points. It's the hardest earned 12 points they've had all year.
By the way, all 12 of those points?
Threes. Yeah, they're getting nothing inside. Absolutely nothing. It's that second level defense that the Elder Panthers are playing.
40 seconds to play. Cupps, is he playing for a final shot?
Yeah, he's playing for a final shot. And last time they did a high ball screen and Cupps shot the three. Sometimes you'll see a two high ball screen, him come off, and the second guy will flare weak. It just depends what they're going to do here. Johnson's probably going to step out and definitely give him a ball screen, as you got two shooters buried in the corner here for Centerville. But the question is he going to be able to get deep enough off of it?
Cupps, a little step around, into the lane, down to Johnson. He throws it up off the short corner. Here's a throw up, no good, and that's the way this first half ends. As we get another look at Cupps creating and dishing it down low for Johnson, we will head to a break. On the other side of the timeout, it's Reed Mouse and his merry band of coaches here on Chatterbox Live. Our march to Columbus continues next.
Guys, 22-14 our score. I think it was pretty evident, but what was the difference in that first half so far?
I thought Centerville settled for a ton of early threes. Finally at the end of the half, Gabe got to the paint, created for his teammate, and scored a bucket. But I thought Centerville really settled for a lot of early threes, which typically you play a Centerville team, you're going to have to guard some really good motion, and just felt like their ball movement was pretty stagnant in the first half.
Coach?
I think Elder got the ball down the court pretty quick, but I don't think Centerville's pressure really, bothered Elder as much as maybe Centerville thought it might. Thought Elder moved the ball pretty well. They got some decent looks. But like Clint said, I think it's more Centerville settled for some tough shots. And Elder did a good job of staying in front and contesting those shots, making them contested threes too as well.
Yeah, I thought Elder looked a little tired early on. I know Coach Schoenfeld did a good job subbing guys in, but they looked a little tired to me. Obviously, Centerville didn't make shots. Elder did a great job blocking out. I mean, they got 4 fouls, Centerville trying to get offensive rebounds. And that put them in the bonus early, which was good. I thought that was a big factor. And then, again, just shooting the ball, I was a little confused at what Elder was trying to do with the ball screen. That's something we talked about before. I saw him go under some. I saw him switch some. I saw a soft hedge at times. So I think they're going to have to come up with a plan on how we're guarding these ball screens. But to Centerville's credit, as poorly as they've shot this ball, it's an 8-point ball game here with, a half a basketball left to play.
Yeah, one thing that was really early on, Centerville was making a lot of mistakes, a lot of turnovers there in the first few minutes, but they somehow, kept it back to make it a 9-8 lead. Then, of course, Elder goes on that run. Do you think the energy that just Elder's fans are bringing is playing a part of this game at all? I mean, their fans are so much louder than the other half.
I think it's a huge advantage, and it's something that, we haven't had the entire season. So all of a sudden you go from Centerville having the same type of crowd to Elder having the raucous crowd that they do. I think that's a huge advantage.
Yeah, I talked to Clint. Unless you've played against Elder and you understand their crowd, it can be a little bit intimidating, a little bit nerve-wracking at times when you're out on the court because your communication breaks down a little bit. If you aren't used to that, how you communicate has to change a little bit. You have to be together a little more than maybe usual, and you have to be loud because it's intimidating if you haven't seen it.
And I think it's adding confidence to Elder's kids. You see them, they hit the three, they're looking at that student section, and they're celebrating with them, and they're allowing them to be involved to bring them some of that energy. And I think it's playing a big factor.
Yeah, you're right. It's a big game, but they're still having fun with it. If you're Coach Schoenfeld right now in the locker room, what are you telling your team?
I think defensively, keep getting back in transition, staying in front of the ball like they have. Like DJ said, maybe come up with something more certain with ball screens, but just staying in front, keeping them in front, and making them settle for threes by not giving them penetration. Good help side. I think Elder knows who to help off of right now, doing a good job with that. I would like to see Elder. I hope he's talking to them about screening or going inside a little bit more, but definitely setting some more screens on their offensive end. And that's going to wear Centerville out as well when they have to get through those screens, because Centerville tries to pressure and just being physically hit with screens causes some problems. And the way the game's being called right now, I think Elder can be physical the second half.
Yeah, and if you're Elder, I think you got to go right at Tom House. Obviously, Tom's shaken up with his knee. Who knows what injury's there, because that's huge. That's their leading scorer. But I think you test him early on, be physical with him, and see how that knee holds up going into the second half.
I think they just continue to do what they're doing. Push the tempo, push the pace in transition, try to get some open looks, continue to compete, continue to block out the way they're blocking out. I think it's for Elder, it's more of let's continue to do what has got us here. Continue to guard. They're guarding. There's a lot of intensity defensively with Elder. And their energy, like we talked about, has been great. They need to continue with that to be successful.
On the other side, obviously, Coach Cupps is a great coach. Do you think the only adjustments he's telling his team is, hey, we've got to be taking better looks right now, or what do you think he's telling his team?
I think they got to get some opportunities in transition. That's where they're really, really good, and I don't remember them scoring a bucket in transition. Right. And then, they're getting Gabe coming off some ball screens early in possessions. Elder switched it for the most part. But once you get it come off that ball screen, you got to move it a little bit, keep that matchup and look to attack, because Elder's so well coached. If you don't move the basketball, they're going to be in position. It's going to be hard to get to the paint. So their ball movement has to get a lot better and get some easy ones in transition.
Coaches?
I think if you're Centerville, you have to try to lift Elder up a little bit on offense in the half court, because Centerville's putting the ball down the baseline, and when you do that, you're flat offensively, but the help is there all the time, and there's more help in the lane. You can somehow move Elder up where the ball maybe, you're throwing the ball to the wing, and you have opportunities to drive a little bit or attack from the wing, and that maybe even gets you more balanced up top too, where maybe you attack from the elbows. But I think they got to move their offense up a little bit higher, because right now, to me, they're a little bit flat with everything.
Yeah, I think that just downhill drives at the rim. Like, downhill drives make that help collapse and then find the guys out on the perimeter. But then don't settle for the three when you catch it on the perimeter. Drive some of those closeouts, those longer closeouts, and keep them in rotation and continue to attack the rim and get some easy looks early. Then that shooting, maybe their threes will come once they get some confidence making some close shots.
22-14 our score. The Centerville Elks hitting only 1 2-point field goal in that first half. That was that baseline jumper right at the end. If Elder wins, the GCL South will remain undefeated against non-GCL South teams this postseason. Stay tuned. We're going to flip it back on over to Geoff Kim and Sean Van Winkle. This has been Chatterbox Live.
We're at halftime, and it's 22-14. Along with Sean Van Winkle, I'm Geoff Kim. It's our March to Columbus, the nightcap of this regional semifinal doubleheader. And so far, partner, I have to say, Elder looked awfully impressive in the final 8 minutes.
They did, and keys to the game, Elder wanted to rebound the ball, and they did, but also Centerville did too. The biggest key of the game is Centerville being 4 of 14 from three. I'm sure the coaches, Coach Wyrick and everybody else talked about it as we got that highlighted there. And then the field goals, 8 of 18 for Elder. And one stat we don't have up there that was really good for Elder as well, 7 for 7 from the foul line. So a lot of different stats going well. But I'm sure Coach Cupps has been in this game many, many times when he was at Graham as a head coach. Now at Centerville. He's been in the regionals many times. They're going to make adjustments. They're going to have to find some scoring near the basket. They can't settle for jacking up threes.
Centerville won the GWAC. Actually, they shared a tie for that with the Wayne Warriors. 22-3 this year, 6-1 in the GWAC. Brooke Cupps, their head coach in his 8th year, 145-65. And every year, having really good teams as you take a look at the Elks in the huddle. Coach, if you're directing that huddle, what are you saying to your troops?
Right now, we got to get a stop. We got to get a stop on defense. It's our ball. We got to get one by the rim coming out at Centerville's ball. We got to get a basket. We need a 2-point basket, and then we got to get a stop. And because I guarantee you Elder is going to really be patient on offense the whole second half, as Cupps and Rolfe were both first-team All-GWOC players as well.
House throws it into Cupps, and away we go here in half number 2. So we go right to left for the Elks, dressed in the black and the gold trim.
Yeah, they had some off-the-ball, staggered double action, and obviously Elder guarded it well. But now they got Cupps off the ball, which is interesting because he's a very good shooter.
They stay on the outside. They've not been able to get inside all night. They have packed in the paint. 3 left of the key for Cupps. He misfires. Ball chased down in the corner by Larkins. And here come the Panthers. Down the lane, the kick out. Miller disdains 3. To the rack he goes. His shot is rejected by House.
Larkins with a little point guard action for the Elder Panthers as he drives and kicks out.
3 for Rolfe. 2 strong off the back iron. They stay up front with Dang, and he'll reset the offense. So we come up on a minute deep here in this third as Rolfe is pushed. Pushed by Keehan. David Keehan, guilty of the personal, the first one of this second half.
Easy call, let a little side out of bounds here.
As we get a look at Tom House, who's coming out of the lineup. And by the way, Tom's been fantastic. You mentioned an Olympic swimmer, as you get a look at them there, an Olympic level swimmer as Rolfe fires from long range, no good. And then he is bulked up when he decided to go basketball only.
Yeah, he's limping hard right now, so that injury might be a little more than what we think. It's hard to take him out. It's a regional semifinal as Elder with their 5-out
Harp
motion.
with string music!
You can't, all they're running is their 5-out motion, screen, curl, fade back up. You can't go underneath that screen if you're Centerville.
He logs on for his first points of the night. 3 from the corner for Rolfe.
He kind of double clutched that shot as he made it, but yeah, if they're going to run their 5-out motion here, which Elder is, curl, step out, they'll keep curling these guys.
Harp again, more string music. His second trifecta in the last minute, 28-17.
You've got to get a hand in his pocket.
Cupps from a long range, and one!
Nice move by Cupps there. You notice a lot of his shots, he's going to his left, Geoff. He did that with that 3 missed. This one here's a 2, going to his left. Gets it up to his shooting pocket quick before the guy can get a hand up. I mean, that's a high-level shot. He's a 3-level scorer. He's a 3-point shooter. He's a mid-level. He's also can score by the basket. He's played in so many big games. As many know, he played with LeBron James's boy on the AAU circuit. Big games, Gabe is big-time stat stuffer.
The old-fashioned 3 to cut the lead back to an 8-point contest at 28-20. So Cupps has 6 with 5:38 to go here in the third.
You got Harp just buried over there.
Harp's been the difference maker so far in this third for the Panthers. Miller out to the big man Larkins, and now Keehan up high on the right.
Yeah, Gabe Cupps putting tons of ball pressure, trying to get him uncomfortable here.
It's Keller with the ball. Nice spin dribble around a high screen. Going down the middle, outside. Keehan is wide open!
What a great pass.
31-20, the first field goal tonight for Michael Keehan. 3 to answer back straight on, and we've got a foul with 4:54 to go in the third.
Sean Keller with just a great pass, and then right here, shooting a 3. And Larkin, of course, fouled him. I mean, he didn't want to. He kind of backed away, but Cupps going to the right that time tells you a lot about him as he misses a free throw, which is extremely uncharacteristic as he shoots what? 85%, I think.
About 82.5%, at least coming in.
Yeah.
It is front page news.
Yeah, 82%, I'm sorry, yeah. You don't see that very often.
One of 3. I'm not going to tell you that Cupps had the case of the yips on that last time down, but he might have.
Well, they're putting a lot of pressure on Elder right now, and that's going to play right into their spacing here. If you look, everybody is wide outside the three-point line. There's going to be a lot of screen and slips here.
They're trying to set a high screen from the free throw line, but right now Centerville's been wise to it.
Yeah,
Neiman, who's back in the ball game, up high on the right, can't gut in to post up, and they'll retreat back outside. 4:14 to go, drive, and the kick out, and before that, charge.
Yeah, he set up. It was a great charge. Rich Roth there. I'm sorry, Tom House there, big boy. Knees bothering him. You can tell he's very, very.
And he's back out of the ball game, and we have a timeout. With 4:11 left to play, want to talk about Tom House for a little bit more. So Tom, by the way, as a freshman, good basketball player, Olympic-level swimmer potentially. He averaged about 6 points a contest a year ago. He decided that, hey, he was going to dedicate himself to basketball, and that was after the pandemic hit, because when we last saw him in the tournament last year, his head was shaved. He was ready for swimming season. So he made the dedication, made the switch, and gained the weight. We saw him down on the floor part of the ballgame, and the dude is jacked.
Oh, he is. He put a lot of time in the weight room. Coach Cupps said, got the Robert Morris offer, which is a big offer, Division I. I mean, he's definitely going to be an unbelievable basketball player, not only this year, but he's only a junior. I mean, he's got another year.
And he just came out of your screen, but as we're looking at him right now, you'll take a look at his left knee where it's really taped up pretty well just to stabilize. 31-21.
Yeah, a little staggered double flare. And, of course, Elder guards it really well.
3 off the catch. Knock it down! A big 3 for Quinn Hafner.
Quinn with a big shot. He shoots a good percentage. Look at the defensive pressure Centerville is putting on Elder. 10 seconds. Easy.
Yes. Gabe Cupps. Great on-the-ball defense.
He is. If you see his highlights, you'll see as many defensive highlights as you will offense. As look at this deep 3. Hand up. Still hits it. Man in his face. These shots weren't falling in the first half. This is going to be a high screen here.
Double screen set for Cupps. Looking to drive. Kicks it back out. Hayes, the bump. Charge.
It's an easy call. That ref had the best view. You dip your shoulder, they're going to call it every time, Jeff.
By the way, for those of you who don't know, and you wouldn't know by looking at the screen, the kid and I are up on a perch on the opposite corner of the court. And the fact that you and I saw it up here and me without the glasses, that tells you how obvious that call was.
And we're also right behind this very boisterous Elder Panther student section.
Tony Walker back into this contest. He got a touch, and now Sean Keller will handle. Harp with a couple big threes. Back to Walker. Top of your screen, coming back down to the south of it.
Running just traditional motion.
Keller to the rack. Misfires. The putback. No good for Neiman. Tapped out, and it's saved by Elder.
Yeah, House's knees bothering him. He couldn't get that ball. Normally would have snatched that rebound and just couldn't get there quick enough. He's favoring that left leg.
Harp can't get around Cupps, and he just gets it away. Out to Walker. He nearly lost it at the half-court line. 2:42 to go here in the third. It's Kean up high on the right. Checked by House.
Yeah, Centerville switching as many screening actions as they can, which could cause a mismatch, but Elder's pretty small right now anyway with Larkins being out of the game.
Neiman down to Harp from the corner. He knocks it down. More string music.
That was an unbelievable pass. He knew he was going to pass it before he caught the ball. And Neiman, what a great pass. A one more, they call that, as Cupps steps up for a 3.
They had too long off the back iron, and they'll reset. Right now, Harp is playing concerto out there in the third quarter.
And he's got some assistance. I mean, they're throwing to him. They know he's open.
3 no good for Hafner, and they'll reset. Cupps got a touch, back outside. 3 from the corner, no good for House. The rebound to Rolfe. He is rejected, and now it's down low. Put it up, no good. Ryan Kiefer tried to put it up, and he'll go to the line.
Yeah, Kiefer with the big shot here. Look, he kind of gathers himself, goes up, going to get a chance at a three the old-fashioned way. That was some banging down there. Going back to that pass earlier by Neiman, you know when you have Harp on the court as a player, you got to find him. And the Elder Panthers are doing a great job of getting him the ball.
So Ryan Kiefer at the line. Logs on for his first point of the night. 6'4" junior, wearing the number 10, averaging about 2.5 points a ball game. Coming into this contest, 9 of 10 at the stripe.
Centerville putting up the full court pressure, trying to get another 10-second count. Started with about 36.
Walker checked by Hafner. Steal.
That's another highlight for Gabe
Cupps
Cupps.
on a 2-on-2 to the rack he goes.
It's another highlight. He gets a ton of steals that way. He gets his hand right in the pocket.
It's back to a 5-point contest at 34-29 with 1:09 to play here in the third.
This is a big possession for the Elder Panthers.
It's Harp.
Look at that defense. He's going to
Cupps.
get a hand over and back. That's over and back. Yes.
Gabe Cupps is on the
Look
third.
at him. That kid can flat out guard. He gets in your face. Just look at him. Over and back. He knew it. He's turning this game around. And Coach Schoenfeld, even with 57 seconds, is still going to call a timeout because he feels this thing could get away from him as they only have a 5-point lead. And I think we're at a full timeout here.
As you see Cupps here to the rack, and he has been poetry in motion. And if not for the theatrics right now for Andrew Harp on the other side for Elder, this would be a complete turnaround for Centerville.
Absolutely is. I believe Elder has put Larkins back in the game. Again, all this has happened with Larkins out.
Right.
You know, he's done a lot for them. But if you look up the human highlight film of Gabe Cupps, he'll have a whole highlight of defense where he's just in somebody's face, stealing the ball. And he's getting about 1.8, 2 steals a game. So
got to tell you a little bit about their big three, about Cupps, and then the juniors, Tom House and Rich Rolfe. All three were first-team GWAC selections. But, partner, if you can believe it, none of those three were named Player of the Year.
yeah, that was odd.
Wayne's Prophet Johnson
Yes.
won that award.
Yeah, but I think Coach Cupps would rather be playing in this game than have the Player of the Year. But yeah, that was a little surprising to me. Although Centerville has a couple of those guys that are underclassmen.
So out of the timeout, here's Cupps. Here's House, a straight-on three!
You got to get a hand in the pocket. That pressure defense that Centerville's put on
It's a 2-point contest.
34 seconds to go. They're going to get a last shot. They like to run a high ball screen with a weak side flare at the end here. Elder does.
It's Larkins with the ball. 16 to play here in the third. Keller shut off at the top of your screen, comes back. It's Miller now.
Yeah,
with
here
8 seconds left to go. And now off the dribble, Keller once more. Top of the key, fires right of the key for 3. Off the back iron, no good. The rebound down to Hafner. Up front, and before they can get a shot off, the third period expires. We've got a 2-point affair here at Princeton tonight. Down the stretch we go. It's the March to Columbus on Chatterbox Live. We're 8 minutes away, we think, from deciding who will play Moeller in the regional final on Saturday night. Along with the kid, Sean Van Winkle, I'm Geoff Kim. Thanks for joining us here on the March to Columbus. It's the regional semifinals here on Chatterbox Live. Partner, wow, what a turnaround. And I don't know what Brooke Cupps said at halftime, but it sure worked.
They ramped it up on defense. That was the total difference. As you see Elder getting ready to come out, they have their first possession. Elder has great assistant coaches, Coach Caesar, Coach Murphy, Coach Whitmer, Coach Bingle, and Coach Schinke. All those guys, now they're coming out. It's their ball. They got to get a good shot here, the Elder Panthers.
Right now, the saving grace for Elder is Andrew Harp, who triggers it in. Out to Keller, and Gabe Cupps, the hero of the ballgame right now, defending. Out to Miller, side pocket left, and he'll retreat back to Harp. Ball tapped initially, but saved by Elder. It's Keehan, and now they keep it around the arc. Larkins gets a touch.
Yeah, Centerville's putting a lot of ball pressure as he goes under the screen.
3 from the corner, and wouldn't you know it?
He went under the screen, which was surprising. Jump ball, possession arrow will go to Centerville. You can't go under the screen against Harp and allow him to get wide open shots.
There you see Brooke Cupps, and he's calling things out right now, exhorting his team. Right now, his team is on the back end or the wrong end of a 2-point deficit. House, top of the key, hobbled with the left knee. He was injured back in the first quarter, and that's changed the complexion of this game. And, Coach, we had talked about this being a defensive struggle. It has been so far as House plays it back outside. It's Rolfe on the dribble drive to the rack, and he drew the foul. He drew the foul with 7:04 to go.
Yeah. You know, I'm going to contradict you a little bit. A lot of teams, people will say this is a defensive struggle. I think it's a defensive unbelievable half or 3 quarters in some ways. It's a little bit of an offensive struggle in some ways. So you can look at it both ways, but either way, they're guarding each other, and we knew that was going to happen coming into the game. A lot of people were surprised that first game we watched, Jeff, with St. X and Moeller scoring so many points, but this is not a surprise here, although Centerville averages 70-something points a game.
Rolfe gets 1 of 2. He's got 7 in the book, and it's a 1-point contest. 1. Up the floor is Keehan. Stop and go. Penetrating. And it's a bounce outside. Larkins tries to save it for Miller. And they'll give it back out. Larkins puts it on the deck. Left of the lane. To the rack he goes. No, he missed the shot. And now we've got a foul charge.
No, it's off.
Oh, it's an offensive foul.
No, off the ball foul. 35 for Moeller, or for Elder here. I don't see that. He was blocking him out, and the guy went over his back. But, Jeff, they called that on 35, which that's the 7th team foul for the Elder Panthers, and that was a bad call. But we only got 1 team foul for Centerville right now.
And, by the way, because of fouls, 7 of them now for Elder against just 1 for Centerville. We'll see free throws the rest of the way. 1 in the bonus right now for the Elks. Hafner to the line, or beg your pardon, Ryan Kiefer. Front end is good, and we're tied.
Kiefer, a 90% free throw shooter.
Coming back in is Tony Walker for Elder, as he'll take the place of JT Miller in the lineup. So they go a little faster on the other end when they come back the other way, as Kiefer straddles the stripe once more. He lets fly. No good. Tapped and saved by Elder, and we're tied at 34. Our second tie of the ball game, and the first tie since the first quarter.
It's been all about Centerville's defense as they tried to slip Harp.
Cupps saves it. It's loose, and it's saved by Centerville.
Yeah,
and a great job by Kiefer to save it for Cupps.
Absolutely.
And we'll see. A bucket here will give the Elks the lead.
He likes going to his left.
3 off the catch. Knock it down! Rich Rolfe gives the Elks the lead!
Is that the first lead of the game, Jeff?
It's our first lead since deep in the first period. 4th lead change of the contest. And they answer.
What a great shot by Larkins. Just getting very physical and tough, and they got a chance to get one. One more.
Drive. No good. Blocking call down in the lane.
I think that was a good call. He rotated over. Not sure he was set. When they leave the ground, you got to have the opportunity when they leave the ground to give that guy a chance to come to get off the ground. You got to give a chance to land. You can't let him run underneath like they did there. So I think that was a good call by the referees as we're cleaning up some sweat down here on the opposite end. And Coach Schoenfeld got his coaching staff trying to get some subs in.
Well, they're thinking hard. Right now, they're thinking about how they're going to match up possession for possession, I would imagine.
Absolutely. And real quick, while we get a chance, the assistant coaches for Coach Cupps in Centerville, Coach Leiker, Coach Gallagher, Coach Brooking, Coach Lewis. Coach Lewis was a big-time player at Purdue University.
One of two.
Those guys have all put so much time into getting ready for this game.
It's a 2-point Elk lead, if you can believe it, because it looked like with the double-digit lead that Elder had back in the second quarter, this would never come to pass. But they've come out of the halftime break hot. Here's Larkins left of the lane outside, and they'll play it back. Neiman, who's also into the ball game, gives back. Larkins low on the left. Nice spin to the hoop. He can't finish it, but he'll go to the line with 5:27 to go.
What an old school move there. A little spin move for Larkins. Who's a quick thing on Larkins. His dad has every single jump ball picture he's ever played in high school. And he posts them on Facebook. His dad's a retired veteran official, very good official. Andy Larkins. He has every one. He'll post them on Facebook, the jump balls. And it always looked like he's winning the jump ball by the way he takes the picture. Maybe it might be timing or what, but
Drew Boozum, who was in the ball game, as soon as he came in, he left and gives way to Andrew Harp. The back end is good. It's a 1-point affair here at Viking Village. Cupps, a little stop and go. Outside, a long three off the mark. One and done this time for the Elks. Harp on the stop and go. Harps had 3 trifectas in the third period. Young man conducting a concerto with that string music. His team's behind by 1.
if he has a weakness, Geoff, it's putting the ball on the floor, if he has one.
Walker to Larkins. Dumps inside and gives Elder the lead back.
He is just going right at Rich Rolfe, who has a clear height advantage, but Larkin definitely has a strength advantage.
5th lead change to the ball game.
They're going to their chin action here where they use this high guy at the foul line to set some screens and step out. Lots of movement.
Drive Cupps. Throws it up off the short corner. Oh, and he got that one to fall. And a timeout. A timeout with 4:26 left to go here in this one as the Elks take the lead again. Our 6th lead change of the contest at 40-39.
Yeah, nice little baseline runner jump shot there by Brooke Cupps as he went to his right that time, which is impressive. If you watch him here, and that second level defense stops him, and he goes up and he shoots it. Going to your right and your left is really, really hard to do.
And also escaping the tug of the jersey, too.
And the other thing is asking Coach Cupps about his son, which it's hard to talk,
sure,
but he said Michigan, Wisconsin, Ohio State. Coach Howard from Michigan called the other day when they won their district championship game to congratulate him. He's only, he's an underclassman, he's a sophomore, but he's a Division I high-level basketball player. He sees the game in slow motion, which a lot of kids don't do that.
Well, the funny thing is, especially to a kid that age, nothing's probably moving in slow motion, right?
Right.
So out of the timeout, it's an Elder possession, 4:21 left to go. Ball handler off the high screen from Kean. Kean sets another high screen.
And who causes the turnover?
Young Mr. Cupps.
Might be the best defensive player on the ball in the entire Southwest Ohio. He causes so many turnovers. And they're in the game because of that, Geoff. They're in the game because of their defense right now.
Cupps leading his team back. That's a 1-point Elk lead. House got a touch. And Ryan Kiefer has the top of the key. He disdains 3. Now 3 from the wing. Take it to the bank! Quinn Hafner.
Yeah, using the baseline screeners. Cupps and Hafner using the screen. Nice shot. And that's a charge. That's a charge.
Yep.
This kid is incredible. He is single-handedly winning the game for Centerville because of his defense. It's because of his defense.
And as we saw in the replay there, young Mr. Cupps low on the left there, set up perfectly. And his team has a 4-point lead and the ball.
Absolutely. This is a clinic of what you can do on the defensive end.
So it's funny, too often that we think about players scoring points on the offensive end, points defense and points saved have become a big factor tonight for Gabe Cupps. High-low, and they'll have to kick it out. Here's Rolfe. Short corner, skip pass back outside. House on the drive, turns the corner, can't get around Neiman. And they'll reset.
Great defense by Elder Panthers. Second level defensive stops. Really good actions by Centerville on offense right now as they're moving more now than they ever were in the first half.
Cupps, House with 3:06 to play. The winner will meet Moeller on Saturday night.
Now they got this ball, I believe, with about 3:49, and now they're about a minute into this possession. Almost a minute in.
It's a long possession. Well, when you have the lead, you're not in a hurry to look for anything down low.
And they shoot great percentages from the free throw lane.
They go high, low, Rolf, and now, a backdoor cut.
Great spacing by the Centerville Elks.
Ryan Kiefer off the pass, scores and gives the Elks a 6-point lead. This is the biggest lead of the ball game for the Elks. It's Miller stuck on the corner by Cupps again.
Oh.
And now we've got, was that a foul?
It was a little body, but this spacing creates this. Look at all 5 behind the 3, and then he cuts. That's the spacing. They're getting everybody outside the three-point line and then sending cutters. I tell you, they're giving Elder a little of their own medicine.
Yes, they are.
Elder was doing that in the first half. Elder scores 66 points a game. They're at 39 right now.
By the way, Elder's out of what I think is their offense, at least from what we saw the last time around. Yeah. As Keller has it, he lost the handle and he'll stay up front. I want to explain on that point. So in the last game, in the district final they had against LaSalle, as we have a timeout, they set up the offense, especially in the first half, where in the decisive first half, where they fulcrumed a man low on the right, off the right lane line, and allowed screeners to come behind or allow Harp to come out for 3. Yeah. We've not seen much of that tonight.
That's their 1-4 series, Jeff, and that's a good series for Elder. And a lot of people said they went away from it, and then they went back to it in a district game. They haven't seen it in a while. We haven't seen it tonight at all, but they did just a few minutes ago run a ball screen, a double ball screen, where Harp steps back for the 3, and they did not throw it to him, which was very surprising. They threw it to the corner, although Cupps just fouled him in the corner, but Harp was open at the top for that wide open 3. And we're in a situation now where 6 points, they may have to start fouling.
By the way, I have to ask this about young Mr. Harp, because all of his threes have either come from the top of the key down to the bottom of your screen as we look left to right. Do you just put a man out there when Harp goes outside, or do you still guard him like,
he's zero help right now. Don't let him even get a shot if you're Centerville.
We got a hold, by the way.
Which, if you've seen what Elder was doing right there on that play, they put Harp over here, and they gave a baseline drive, which means Harp's guy's not going to help. That second level D was not going to help. Great call by Coach Schoenfeld coming out of the timeout.
Manuel Dang picks up the personal on the hold with 2:15 to play. The ball comes out high. It's contested, and it's taken away by the Elks.
They're not going to shoot. Now they're going to foul, and you're going to see a lot of Brooke Cupps right here.
Cupps?
A lot of Brooke Cupps right here. Yep, there it is. He's not going to pass. He's going to step up. This young man, I talked to his dad. I said, big games, he has big stats. He said a lot of it is in the offseason. He plays AAU in front of NBA players and guys like that, high level AAU, and he has seen many close games, tight games, big games, but he's at the foul line now.
Well, I didn't catch who fouled him, but in any case, the Panthers have given up the double bonus, and Cupps answers on the first. Cupps has been massively huge since halftime.
Yeah, the big difference has been defense and not settling too much for 3, although they've made a lot of threes here in the second half.
46-39. Outside, 3 for Keller, off the lip, chased down by Dang. Dang draws the double, lost it in the corner, it stays up front. Or we head the other way, rather.
Yeah, what a great rebound. Coach wants to foul Dang. He wants to foul him right there, but instead he kind of throws it out, which I think it was out on the Elder guy, but
Harp will throw it in. Keller will on the catch. Off the high screen from Larkins. Dashes into the lane. Lost the handle. Stolen away.
Stolen away by Cupps. Unbelievable. Unbelievable steal. Just gets his hands on everything. Watch this. Reach in. Boop. Just steals the ball right from him. I know you're going to ask for plays of the game, and it's always about dunks. It's always about threes. But if you can highlight about 4 or 5 of his steals, Unbelievable headlines plays of the game, in my opinion.
I'm going to go back, partner, as we look at free throws here by Rich Rolfe. No good on the first. I'm going to go back to the 10-second call back in the start the third period.
Momentum changer. Exactly. That's a great point, Geoff. Because that was the difference, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. That felt like it was the momentum changer for the Elks as they've been ramping up their defense the entire second half. And they can gamble a little bit right now. Only have 14 fouls. They can pressure. Well, who's it on?
Well, we saw Larkins up top.
He don't know who to call it on.
We get a little timeout here, and we get a look at this on the replay. Oh, look at that high screen. Larkins right there in the middle, and he got the worst of it, setting that high pick.
I think that was the right call. I mean, he ran him over, but the referee, at first they didn't know who to call it on, but I think that was a good call. You got to trick the screener. You can't run through him. No different in the half-court offense. But we're in a situation here now with 8 points, down 8, and time is really getting away from the Elder Panthers.
By the way, the last time I saw a pick that good or a high screen from an offensive player, I have to go back to Lakota East team from last year. They had a 6'7" kid named Alex Mangold who plays now at Nova Southeastern.
Yes.
Neiman lost the handle.
They can gamble a little bit. They still have one more to give after this one.
By the way,
I'm sorry, after this one, they're in the 1-1 bonus.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Centerville right now in the midst of a 9-0 run. So the lockdown, I don't know if it's a vapor lock by Elder or if it's a lockdown by Centerville on defense, but this has been a long time coming after what we saw in the second period. Off the catch is Miller. He throws up 3 off the corner, off the mark. Saved by Keller, and he'll reset the offense. He gets it, he gives it up, he throws it up for 3. Off the mark, he airmails that one. Loose on the floor, still loose. Keller saves it for Miller, and now we've got a whistle stopping play with 1:14 to go.
Great effort. Kids diving all over. Look at this. Dive by 10, dive by Dang. They call the foul. So that's regional semifinal plays right there. Guys really just selling out on the defensive end.
And look who comes back in for Centerville. Young Mr. House.
Is that 5 on? No, never mind.
He's now talking with his head coach, Brooke Cupps.
Yep.
Now he's back in.
They call that on down. Yep.
It's an 8-point lead, and the drought's broken.
Yep.
So Keller hits on the first free throw. That breaks the 9-0 run by Centerville.
Look for good spacing on offense here for Centerville as Elder's going to run and jump. You got to pass to beat it. You can't dribble to beat it.
No good. Up front, Rolfe.
Jump ball.
Jump ball.
Jump ball, Elder ball.
Larkins comes back in.
Little offense, defense for Elder.
Manuel Dang comes back in for Centerville, and you need him in this spot as a good defender.
House coming out, little knee injury.
Off the catch, 3 for Keller! Sean lights it up, and it's back to a 4-point contest. Timeout.
Yeah. Great call by Coach Cupps. If you looked at what Elder was doing, they were trying to intentionally foul Dang, as this is a nice shot, no hand up, just gets it off. But again, right now, Centerville's setting up what's going to be a press attack, a press breaker. It's going to be a lot of spacing, a lot of passing. They're going to try to foul Dang if he's in the game.
By the way, we look at the Elks right now. They have not won a state title in boys basketball in their history. They've won district titles in the Cupps era, but have yet to survive this regional gauntlet. In 2015, they got to the regional semifinals. They got beat by the state champion Wayne. They made it the following year, lost the state Final Four bid to Wilmington. And in 19, they reached the regional final, lost to the state champion Moeller. And then last year, as we were going down the stretch before COVID-19 hit, they lost to Moeller again in the regional semifinals, 54-42.
He has a great program, Coach Cupps. He does it the right way. He's got a lot of assistant coaches that buy in. Coach Liker is the guy that came from Graham. Unbelievable. Coach Gallagher is their details guy. You know, he's got a great staff. And they're going to be in these games a lot in the regional district and regional finals when you have to run a program the way Coach Cupps does.
So here comes the entry. Rolfe has it on the free throw line and back to House, who puts it on the deck.
106 when they did it, and right there's 10. Oh!
They break on through, and now we got an official stop again with 54 ticks of the clock left to go.
It's the referee's count of 10, not the clock, and that was really close.
Well, the idea that we could have seen two 10-second counts in a single game tonight, especially in a regional semifinal, would have been something as Rolf hits the first. And what do we say about free throws? They win the close ones.
Yep. Well, you got three guys from Centerville shoots over 80%, so it's going to be hard to foul them and get extra possessions.
Centerville as a team shooting 75%, though Rolf and Cupps have been a little cold tonight, 1 of 2. A 5-point contest, 48 ticks left to go. Harp, blocking call, it's on Dang.
He extended his left arm, which I thought he was going to get a charge call. I mean, that was that was really good defense by Dang, and Harp is just a really special player for Elder. Only a junior, 78%, shoots 42% from three, 78 from the line. Like you mentioned earlier, Geoff, he's a first-team All-GCL player and just a really, really, really good high school basketball player.
Drew Boozum back into the ball game for Elder in place of Larkins. As Harp, everything but the bucket. The rebound to Centerville and the foul. As Cupps held onto the ball on the back line, he'll go and shoot free throws, fouled by Keller.
Yeah, the only seniors for Elder are David Larkins, J.T. Miller, and Tony Walker. 3 seniors that Coach Schoenfeld said means a lot to the program. If this is their last game, as Cupps shoots 2 free throws right now, those 3 guys have meant a lot to the Elder Panthers basketball program.
By the way, what a resurgence for the Panthers.
Yes.
After 3 straight years, as, boy, that one was an eternity at the line. So finishing my thought on Elder, partner.
Yep.
So 4 years ago, they had a 12-win season.
Yep.
And then the last 3 years, 14 wins, 14 wins, 14 wins. This year, they break on through at 20-3.
Coach Schoenfeld been doing it over 30-something years, one of the best in the business. As we got 38 seconds here, down 7.
You need a 3 right now.
Flare, but they missed him again.
It's Miller to Harp, straight on 3, off the mark. They keep it alive up front. Larkins back in the ballgame for 3 of his own. He can't get it to finish. Cupps the rebound, and now we have a push after Cupps had let go of the ball.
That's an intentional foul.
That's frustration with 18.2 left to go.
Yeah, they intentionally fouled him away from the ball. Coach Schoenfeld going to bring in some subs.
Wholesale substitutions.
Wholesale subs. And if we could get a camera, I don't know if we can get a camera going towards the Elder bench. It would be nice if we can. I don't know if we can or not, but I always like to see the coaches hug the seniors and give those guys. Here comes Larkin. Watch this hug here. Guys, this is what it's all about. Coach Schoenfeld. Everybody's going to get Larkin as he's coming off.
And Centerville will clear the bench too. They have a 9-point lead with 18.2 left to go. We've seen the dagger.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't have anything to do Saturday night at 7:30, tune in to Chatterbox because it's going to be a whale of a game with Moeller and Centerville. Holy cow, as you would say.
Holy cow, holy moly.
Yeah.
Mercy.
Mercy's the one I love.
13.3 left to go.
They forgot to start the clock.
And by the way, a tip of the cap to Elder, right?
Yes.
20-3 coming on in. And they actually held the #1 ranking in the AP poll for a short while this season.
They did, and just a great program. I mean, they get West Side kids. I mean, that's who they got. Everybody on that team lives and grows in the west side of town, and they
And here we go with Andy Velasco. He will dribble out. And Centerville, you've got a day with Moeller Saturday night. Mercy, what a final 16 minutes for the Centerville Elks, and they'll move on to the regional final. Partner, this was a beauty for them.
Absolutely. And, we looked at a little bit of Gabe Cupps early in the first half. Wasn't scoring well. Second half, ramped it up defensively. Absolutely ramped it up and ended up with 15 points, I think. And the kid's a first-team All-State player as a freshman and now as a sophomore. But they really shot the ball well, Geoff, in the second half. A lot of it came off defense, getting some inside buckets, but also banking some threes, as you said.
Yeah, yes.
And what a great game for Centerville. Real quick, Geoff, what you said about Elder, they're a class act. They had a whale of a season to lose in the regional semifinals against the number 1 seed out of Dayton, and that be Centerville. Hats off to the Elder Panthers. They had a hell of a season.
And you look here at the jubilant crowd brought here by Centerville. 1 versus 1, Dayton versus Cincinnati for the right to go to the state Final Four in Dayton this year over at UD Arena. Unofficially tonight, Gabe Cupps with 19 points. But I think, partner, to your point, as we think about maybe perhaps a play of the game or anything like that, I still go back to his defensive presence in the second 16 minutes.
It was. And your call about the 10-second call, that was the one. That was the one that kind of got everybody turned around on defense. They played with lots of pressure in the half court. And this is not a surprise. There's a lot of basketball that was played the last couple of weeks, and Chatterbox brought it to you with the sponsorship. How many games did we do? Holy cow. Unbelievable. Still got a lot more to go, as tomorrow night we're doing D2. But it's still going to be 1 versus 1 coming down the stretch in the regional final in Division I.
Well, a little housekeeping to your point, and I'm glad that you mentioned it. Tomorrow night we'll be back on the air for that late game. It's the D2 regional semifinals. We'll be up in Vandalia Butler, and you and I will have the nightcap. Yep. It'll be Chaminade Julienne in the 13th seed, the dark horse, against the top seed Tippecanoe. Yep. Should be a good one.
And then I'll have a game at 5:30 with my man Nathaniel, and we have Watterson out of Columbus, and the number 1 seed, McNick Rockets. And I tell you what, the McNick Rockets are big, big fans of Chatterbox. I cannot wait to see that game tomorrow night.
Partner, a fun one for sure. Get some rest.
Absolutely.
Again, the final here in this one, Centerville escapes a bad first half to run away in half number 2, 52-43. Thanks go out to Joe Meehan, our producer, and Trace Fowler, our executive producer. For them, and for my main man, Sean Van Winkle, I'm Geoff Kim. And as we bid you good night here from Princeton, we'll send it out to our main man, Reed Mouse, and his merry band of coaches out there, out on the perch. So until next time, until tomorrow, good night from Princeton.
Welcome back to Princeton High School. 52-43, our final score. Centerville coming back from a deficit there in the second half. I believe it was at one point 34-24, and then I think Centerville went on like a 21-5 run. Coaches, I'm here with Coach Price, Coach Atkins, and Coach Wyrick. Where did you see the big turning point in that game?
Centerville's pressure. I think Centerville started pressuring better. They really pressured out top, and it caused Elder's offense to be starting out higher. I think they did a good job on Keller, staying in front of him and really rushing him. And Elder just couldn't get into anything, I think, for a pretty long period of the third quarter and then on into the fourth. But just the intensity level turned up.
Yeah, and I tell you what, I thought Centerville had a couple role guys that made huge plays. You think about the Kiefer kid, you think about the Hafner kid. Those guys both had 6 apiece. And, I don't know, they're probably averaging 1 or 2 points a game. Mm-hmm. So, obviously, a couple guys that typically don't make plays made some big plays for them. And, like Coach said, I thought their ball pressure was fantastic in the second half. And Cupps, and I don't know the other young man's name, number 4, but those two got after it on the perimeter.
Yeah, I thought their pressure was really good. And I also thought they did a good job of guarding those screening actions, much better job in the second half. There wasn't many open threes in the second half. There was quite a few in the first. I thought they made some good adjustments at halftime and were able to get out to them on some screening actions.
Tom House was wobbling there in the first half, and he comes on out there. Probably surprised a few of you guys. I know he surprised me when just watching him move in that first few minutes. But even he, on one bad leg, hit a couple big shots down the wire. Tom Else, I know you coach him in the summer, I believe, right?
I did a few years back,
Okay.
and Tom's a gamer, and he's never met a shot that he doesn't like. He can flat out fill it, and you saw it when he hit that big shot in the fourth quarter. All of a sudden, he started bouncing around like he had a lot more energy, and then you watched him about 30 seconds later, and he was back to being a little bit gimpy. I just hope he's healthy for that Moeller game. That would be a shame if he gets to the regional final and he can't play or can't be 100%.
Yeah, coaches, did you guys think that there was any player there for Centerville? I know you mentioned a couple role players that really turned it on there in that second half.
I don't know if there was. I think Cupps' defense. I think that was that intensity to me sort of set the table for everything else. But I think Centerville came out. They sort of settled for some threes early in the third quarter, and then I think they started moving the ball a little bit more, and they got some better looks or better shots. They still shot some threes and made some, but I just think the defensive pressure by Cupps up top, to me it changed the game for Elder, where Elder's offense wasn't able to get into anything they really wanted to do as easily, and the rest of the Centerville team fed off that.
Coach Meyer,
we talked about too at halftime. The energy that Elder's fans were giving, but second half the Centerville fans showed up and they were loud and it was like Coach said, it was a tale of two halves.
Right, truly was. I think you go back to the beginning of the season, and if you would ask a lot of coaches, a lot of people in this area on who the final two teams were in the Southwest region, a lot of people probably would have picked Centerville and Moeller, and that's what we're going to have on Saturday night right here. But I think that does it from us out here at Princeton High School. It's a late-night school night. We've got to get everyone home. So Moeller versus Centerville for the regional championship right here Saturday night. You can watch it here on Chatterbox Live. For everybody else that's been a part of this broadcast, I'm sure Sean Van Winkle and Geoff Kim called a great game. This has been Reed Mouse, Coach Mike Price, Clint Atkins, and DJ Wyrick. Thank you for tuning in. This has been Chatterbox Live.